Hello and welcome to the Heart's Frontier. I'm Kate, and if this is your first time joining us, then welcome. It's so nice to have you here, where I do oracle readings, I do spiritual messages, pick a cards. Sometimes I just do meditations or talk about something. And so, whatever it is that you're here for, I hope you stay. And if you would like to stay, make sure you like and subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell. Just make sure that you're staying tuned to all things happening here. So, I am just coming back off of a lovely week-long vacation, which I have not taken, honestly, a breather from my work and my business in any aspect or just work in general for at least a year and a half. I honestly, I can't really remember the last time I took multiple days away from even needing to do any work or thinking about it. So, coming back off of this week, I really feel a lot more clarity, and I'm really looking forward to continuing to doing YouTube readings. I did, ask my guides what is needed of me this next, few months of my work. I really go just a couple months or a few weeks at a time because I see so much rapid change right now in the way that a lot of people are being asked to serve in the spiritual community. So, that being said, I'm here to do a weekly collective energy reading. I am still going to keep up the business collective energy readings. I really am enjoying those. So I will do one of those after this. Love readings will be as they come in, as I'm guided to. I do believe I'll be doing more love readings. And again, I'm just stepping away from twin flame, karmic, soulmate like labels for now, just to see whether it brings more clarity and more ease to people receiving messages and things like that. For me, it's never really finite. No connection is ever really finite. You're always learning, adapting, growing, and we can all hope that you move along and grow with people, but it's not always the case. So weekly collective energy reading I'll be doing, business collective energy readings I'll be doing, again, whenever I feel called, but hopefully I'd like to do 1 or 2 a week. And then, love readings as I feel called to. I love doing the pick a cards, and I know people love doing pick a cards as well. So I definitely want to do more of those. I'd also love to know, do you have any ideas? I have tons of ideas on different pick a cards I can do. Some of them require for me to, put a couple hours aside, and I haven't done some of the larger ones. So if there's anything that you want to see or you think that you might like receiving from me, please let me know in the comments. Just be like, hey, can you do something like this? Whatever it is. Hopefully, if you're watching, you know that I like to serve you, and I want you to feel as though you're getting supported on your journey. And I am constantly amazed, just as you are, if you've been watching for a little bit, and if you've, told me any of the experience you've had listening, I'm just amazed at how accurate everyone can feel. Like I'll go back and listen to one that, might be 2 weeks ago or something, and it'll be so accurate when I go to listen to it. But had I listened to it the 2 weeks before when I'd recorded it, it didn't even, it wouldn't have even matched. So anyway, that being said, those are some of the things going on. I'm working a little bit more on the back end before I do some more stuff just out here, just getting some aroma products going. And so I'm really excited to share with you what I've been working on there and the aromatherapy side of my work in general, because I really haven't brought that onto the YouTube here, but I have been doing a lot on the back end. So, yeah, I'm going to have also more to do with like different exercises and things. Now that the warmer weather is coming back, I'm getting back into a lot of my physical practices that I have been wanting to since switching into doing this work full time again, or in general, I guess. So I might be bringing some more movement to the channel, and yeah, I'm very excited for the spring. I think you'll all like the shifts that I'm going to make. We're not only going to be doing oracle decks or meditations. There's going to be more to it. There's more to this journey. This is only one piece, is understanding ourselves and what's currently going on. So without further ado, let's dive into this weekly collective energy reading. Oh, last thing. I'm on Instagram. I'm also trying TikTok here and there when I feel compelled. So I will link that below. The TikTok is under a different name. And so I do some music things there. Basically, it's just sort of like artsy poetry, love, music, basically like the romantic side of my life can stay under that name. And yeah, if you want to go check that out, I'll link it below. And so I'm doing some pick a pile videos and things like that on TikTok. And it's a little like quicker, more consumable. But also, if you haven't heard any music things, then there you go. You'll have that. So this week, I'm not going to do a pick a card for the weekly collective. Just going to, I feel as though it's just going to be an overarching message. What is going on? What do we need to do? So I was getting the feeling this morning, like a lot of people are going to go into this week having just received inspiration in some way, but I'm getting the feeling like a lot of people are feeling scattered. So potentially, it's funny, that was a message coming in to distract me. So scattered or distracted. I'm feeling as though also this scattered feeling is just from accepting a lot of light, actually. So whether or not you feel as though you're accepting light, I have been receiving that there's, some light downloads that have been coming in. And so a lot of people might be feeling kind of like they've got a new energy, but, with the sun coming out more with springtime, warmer weather, you might be feeling as though you're getting like some life back. But then you're also feeling as though you're not on solid ground. And so it might feel very difficult for plans to be made. I'm getting the feeling this week, actually, so I'm curious whether this is going to show up in the business reading as well. But I am getting that this week that it's going to be challenging to make finite decisions. You're going to feel very wishy-washy. And that's okay, that is actually okay. It's funny because I'm very pro making decisions, decisive, actions from your heart and following through. I'm very big on it because I've seen much more good happen from that than from debating, listening, not being sure. So that is something that I care about. But when it comes to a week like this or an energy like this, I'm not going to say it's not probably going to last all week, but it just might feel a little challenging to push a decision through to the final stage. I'm getting that there's some folks who have been thinking about a new project of some kind. So if you've been thinking about a new project or a new change, maybe a new habit change as well, it's kind of a project, but sometimes if it's not tangible, it might not be easy to see it as a project, but it could be, starting a new habit. I'm getting the feeling like you've got to let go of times in the past where this has not worked. And that will help you with accepting this wishy-washy, because it's almost like if you're gonna, so say you have a decision, we'll use running, right? So I'm beginning my running practice again. So when you get started and going with it, then it's not so challenging, but definitely I find mentally in the beginning stages, it's a lot about consistency, dedication to self, self-worth, etc. And in this time, if you are to sort of back up and go, oh, I'm not sure, like if I'm going to sit there and debate, am I going to go out? Am I not going to go out? I'm more so playing with the idea of, I'm not really thinking about, can I go out or should I go out? I'm thinking about, how can I not go out? Or, is there something more valuable than my own goal? Is there some demand or external pressure that can relieve me of the fear of success, actually, really? A lot of the times is, I don't know, some people hate the idea of fear of success because it doesn't really translate that, right? We don't feel in our head afraid of success, but often when we're entertaining the idea of staying in our comfort zone or having some new thing in our life, we play more on how could we disappoint ourselves or how has this gone in the past and not been successful than how could this be exactly what you need right now. And, just like I, often say, you can choose to think in whichever way you're going to choose to think. the one way here is going to feel easier. And you likely will feel more fulfillment at the end of the day. So if you would like that, maybe look at entertaining these sets of thoughts a little bit more frequently. And that could be actively choosing to do that. So if you're having a hard time committing to yourself or making decisions this week, then remind yourself of the aspects to which they could go well, and just play with that and see whether that actually allows a decision to happen. Because it feels like you might get in the way of yourself if you spend time entertaining both sides. Basically, it's like, don't force the decision, but focus on your feeling. I often get to the end of these videos and I forget most of what I've said, to be honest, because channeling, it's not really I'm not thinking about this ahead of time. I don't really know what we're going on here to say. So don't force decisions, focus on feelings. And so sometimes I forget what I talked about in the video, and then I don't remember what to write as the title for the video. And so I'm going to try more often to just take a moment while I'm on the video to jot down what I'd like the title to be. So hope y'all don't mind. That's what I'm going to do so that I can remember and actually have good titles. Some of these titles I just go, okay, that was like one piece that I remember, and I have other things that I have to get to. All right, so moving on here. So I'll actually show you some of the cards we've got. We've got karma and letting go. So this to me is all about the past and letting go of letting go of past disappointments. That's what it feels like. Letting go of all the past disappointments, because they're honestly not going to feed any of your current energy in a way that's supporting you changing this feeling. Okay, so you're feeling this feeling and you think like a feeling of disappointment, feeling of regret, or of remorse for not having done something a certain way or at a certain time or earlier in your life, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This I've been hearing across the board. Even on my time off, I hear this from friends and connections, okay? So letting go of everything that you've experienced leading up to this point that has been disappointment, because this current chapter of your life, this current just this current morsel, this little piece of time is asking for you simply to let that go for a moment and accept what this current, it really does feel like there's an energetic shift for a lot of people happening, where you're just going to change the way that you operate. And changing the way that you operate requires letting go of old methods. So it's like if you had a factory and you get a new machine in, and you still expect it to work the exact same pace as the old machine, to have the same issues as the old machine, right? It's going to have new issues because it's a new machine. It's not going to have the same issues as the last one had. It doesn't mean that this new machine is ultimately better. We don't really know that, right? We don't ever know what's good, what's bad. We just make up really, the more committed you are to knowing what good is and what bad is, the more you actually limit yourself to see so much more spectrum in between and on either side of those things, right? I feel that if you see something, you're like, this is good, I want good, I'm just going to step towards this. You're limiting yourself, because sometimes the best actually came with tragedy. It has to come as a package deal. And there's nothing wrong with being sad, and there's nothing wrong with feeling pain, feeling suffering. Okay, so letting go of the things that you felt in the past that are now blocking and interrupting your ability to see clearly right now into the future. And then getting grounded, right? So getting grounded is a really, really important piece for our weeks this week. It says many of the most evolved beings on earth are regular folks living with joy, dignity, and courage. I'm also getting the feeling like one of these things that someone is letting go of in this group here, at least one person, definitely multiple. One of the things that we're letting go of here is an old identity that expected a lot of us. Okay, so this is some person you designed in your mind. You might call it your higher self. You might call it your dream self. You might call it your goals, hashtag goals. But this is like your version of yourself that you've got concocted in your mind. Right now, you're doing a little bit of like peeling back. So it's kind of like you have been seeing yourself accurately, okay? So your higher self, this way that you've been picturing yourself, it's not wrong, but some of the details you put in are incorrect or not valid now. Okay, so I'm trying to think of an example that would make sense here. Basically, what I'm seeing is that say for the last few years, you've had this idea of what you are looking for, searching for, wanting to accomplish. Definitely, it's to do with like accomplishments and achievements and identity, like how you're seen, and maybe being a leader. So if this relates to you in any part of your life, any facet of your life, think about how did you used to or what is your current dream or view, and are any of those things now outdated? Are any of the details now outdated? The core is the same. So this is why it's confusing for the mind. The core of what you're seeking right now is the same, and the root of it is the same. But the way that you expect it, or what you are looking to get in order to make that happen, needs to shift. So there's something in that realm of and it's to do with your expectations. It's to do with, it's almost like you've made a list and now 3 of the things on the list are not necessary, but you're not seeing that. So you're just seeing it as like a long list, and 8 things is a lot different than 5 things. So if 3 of those things aren't necessary, like that's really going to lighten it up and help you feel more focused. So part of the reason you're scattered and not feeling grounded is because you're having a hard time seeing what's next, because you've actually got so many influences of what is next, and options basically of what could happen. And when you're faced with a lot of options, sometimes you need to let go and feel as though you're starting fresh and just go, okay, wipe the slate clean. What do I want in this moment right now, from here, from what is currently existing, from what I have right in this exact moment? So that is what you're being called to do this week. Okay, I've already got some cards for a love reading here that jumped out. And I'm just going to share with you the botanical inspirations that I have for this week. So I'm getting the feeling like the weekly collective energy, the love reading for the week, and the business reading, I'm going to try to all do at the same time this week in this session. So we'll see. Weekly collective energy is Amaryllis, botanical inspiration. So this is determination and creative achievement. So if this whole time you've been thinking about a certain creative project, please know this is your sign. Dig in, get your heels, dig in your heels, I don't know, and get in there, right? I was thinking get in the dirt, like get in the muck, the mud, the dirt, get into this creative passion project or this new idea, new venture, or this new shift, this new way of being. If your new way of being is simply that you want to take an hour more, break, or an hour more for a project every day, then, dig your heels in, do it, get in there. That's the energy that it feels like right now. And it'll be only once you land that energy a little bit. It might happen at the same time, right? You're scattered, ungrounded, and then you dig in to do the thing. You can ground yourself again. And again, it's getting into the dirt, into the ground. So definitely feeling, this has been for maybe definitely the last few weeks. This is something I keep seeing in my mind's eye, is that collectively we're going through. So a lot of us right now are going through an energy of inner resourcefulness coming to the surface. Inner resourcefulness being sourcing our own energy, generating and creating and sustaining our own energy, realizing you can generate that to create more in front of your life. This is basic manifestation, sure, but there's a deeper layer here to how you operate. So it's not an expectation or a want. It's almost like it's almost simultaneous. So if you're following along, I think you'll get what I mean. If that seems too vague for you, that's totally fine. And so it says you can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have. And that's what I mean by this inner resourcefulness. The more you use your energy in a wise way towards your heart, the more you have, the more that gets generated, the more you can do, right? And doubting that limitless power, doubting your unlimited potential is simply going to stand in your way. And it's just really not beneficial at this time. So that is the energy. And then you're also being guided towards crocus. So lovely spring flower, cheerfulness. So play, get in the dirt, the sand, whatever it is, get in the mud, play in the mud. And I'm really excited to see what new mode of operation you might be working on. How are you doing things differently than you used to? And, what are you saying goodbye to? If you want to leave in the comments, what are you saying yes to, or what are you saying goodbye to? Sometimes it helps. I'll do this on social media. I'll commit, just a sentence, because it's more powerful when we put words behind things, we put energy behind things. That typing that out is an action, right? So that is your weekly collective energy reading. I'm going to jump onto the business energy reading and then hopefully the love reading if I have enough time. Okay, take care and enjoy your day wherever you are.